modern-day slavery and other degrading practices carried under various guises constitute an ever-present danger to the society. Yearly, thousands of lives are shattered by the despicable acts of those agents of darkness, while some of these acts are inflicted on victims by heartless agents. Others are self-inflicted. These heart-wrenching experiences could manifest by way of human trafficking, domestic violence, kidnapping, armed robbery, rape, ethnic profiling, and religious persecution. Of course, self-inflicted injuries such as drug addiction and prostitution also lead to painful consequences. In the case of trafficking, the victims are usually subjected to either prostitution or domestic slavery, while in extreme cases, victims' organs could be harvested by the illegal trade in human parts. Quite often, reports of migrants drowning are set aside our human sensibilities and draw the attention of the world to the distressing plight of helpless folks who, in desperation, throw caution to the wind as they search for greener pastures. But are the pastures as green as the victims are made to believe? In the majority of cases, the answer is a resounding no. Hence, the frustration, disappointment, and suffering that follow. In Nigeria, the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, the agency charged with combating human trafficking, has been doing a yeoman's job to stem the scourge, which has been worsened by advanced economic factors, cultural tendencies, and globalization.
For the past 2 decades, NAPTIP has been on a relentless mission to tackle and control the scourge of human trafficking in Nigeria. It's been 20 years of growth, doggedness, and reinvention. Now, it's time to celebrate our milestones and look ahead to the future. And we have an incredible lineup of activities planned, both online and in person. So be ready for engaging campaigns, thought-provoking discussions, and inspiring survival stories. It is an opportunity to reflect on what we have accomplished and renew our commitment to keep thriving in our pursuit to end human trafficking. Let's continue to stand united against human trafficking and protect the rights of our fellow citizens. Thank you all for your unwavering support, and we look forward to celebrating this occasion with each and every one of you. Thank you.
In the case of domestic violence, victims are mainly women and children, though some male victims exist. Dr. Jumai Amadu, president of the Helpline Foundation for the Needy, explains.
The problem we're having, men are ashamed to come out. They are ashamed to come out. You may be surprised that we have the percentage of men that we are thinking are going through domestic violence are more than the ones that are actually going through domestic violence. I've personally come across 2 of my colleagues who are physically abused by their wives, verbally abused by their wives. You see men staying in beer parlor and gardens in the evening. It's not because they really want to be there, because they want their wives to be asleep before they come back, because as soon as they open the door, it's insult. And some men that cannot take this insult are the ones that will just raise their hands. After I'm bigger than you, why I married you, why should you be disrespectful? So they lift their hands on their wives. But like I always advise them, if it's too much, just take a walk. Leave her in the house and go. If you can, if she has children for you, look after your children from a distance. Because if you remain in that home, something that both of you regret might happen. So men are also victims of domestic violence in the nutshell. A lot of men are suffering, but they are ashamed.
No matter the context, victims who survived have gory tales to tell. Thank God that, in addition to government agencies, many voluntary organizations engage in the humanitarian efforts to rehabilitate and reintegrate victims into the society.
The thing about this crisis, the closer you get to it, the harder it is to make sense of why it's happening. Faith from Nigeria tried to with a hymn. Are you okay? Excuse me? Tonight, the story of those rescued. Last night we brought you the story of the rescue.
Okay, give up on this one now, please. Give up on it.
The struggle to cope. The scale.
At True Vision Online Television, the Back from the BRINK program is our effort to join the global humanitarian efforts to erase the mental, physical and psychological scars suffered by victims. We also intend through engagement with both caregivers and victims to provide a guide to vulnerable people in the hope that abreast of the modus operandi of traffickers and the plight of victims, vulnerable persons would escape such painful ordeal. Back from the Brink is a statement that all hope is not lost, that just as there are demons, so also are genuinely human saints flowing with the milk of human kindness. Again, Dr. Jumai Amodu of Airplane Foundation for the Needy and Reverend Emmanuel Gabriel of Symbol of Hope provide insight into how their organization rehabilitates and reintegrates victims into the society. It is a great labor of love, demanding patience and sacrifice.
I've had cause to remember some women being brought from the city because of domestic violence. Their husband will bring them. Some will be as a result of some allegations that the woman might be innocent. But the kind of things I see some of these women pass through, I know that they were really passing through some traumatizing experience, but then the enlightenment is not there as we have today. So they'll just deal with them. When they are found innocent, they'll ask them to just go back to their husband's home, and they have no say. So those were the things that I saw growing up. Fast forward to now that civilization has taken over every place, women cry out a lot. So we have seen so many of such cases of women being seen as if they are one of the properties in their husband's house. You have no say whatsoever. It's whatever the man wants to happen in his house that happen. That is enough violence on any woman emotionally. So we've seen such cases and we'll try to talk to them. Some that we realize that is because they are not empowered. We try to encourage them to look for something to do. If you depend on your husband 100%, there is no limit to what you can take from such man. But when you have some element of independence financially, the man will also think twice before he just dish out certain attitude towards you. So we try to cancel them. If you're not empowered, get something to do. There's a woman now, even though she's in Puda, thank God for online studying. Today she's in her 300 level because the man was taking the fact that she's an illiterate on her, that he has done her a lot of favor by bringing her to Abuja from the far north where she came from. So I just said, you are in your house, so long as it's not physically abusing, it's just this verbal abuse because you are not educated, you didn't further your education. Just get online, go online. The Open University admitted that she's at 300 level today. So just imagine that woman when she graduates, and she could also get a job. There are jobs that women do online these days that they earn some money. So that alone has empowered that woman. She's happy now. Whenever the man is shouting, she just turn to her books and be reading, and she's doing very well. So she's able to overcome the verbal abuse in her home, and she's studying, hoping that she'll finish her school. When she finishes her school and she gets employed, then she can work. Because I also tell women that it's better for you to live to live. You cannot, because of society and stigmatization, remain in a man's house, and you die. Once you die, your story has ended. Your children will have nobody to even call mommy tomorrow. So the best thing for you to get empowered, and if it becomes too much physically, just walk, because you have your life to live. So we've come across so many women, and what we also do in some extreme cases, we link them up to the relevant government agencies to see what can be done for them. Some that are extreme, government agencies intervene. We've had costs to also link them to some bigger organizations that can give them some shelters where they can stay. We're also in the process of completing our own shelter that these women that have nowhere to go to, because some parents are not even willing to accept their daughters. They'll say it's a shameful thing. How do you want my neighbors and friends to look at me? I'm a failed mother that couldn't train my daughter well to remain in her husband's house. So all those are issues that we've come across, and it's very, very pathetic and painful. But in some cases, these parents also do not even have what to give these their daughters. In some cases, who have come with their children to feed on. So poverty is also another angle that we should also look at, not to completely blame parent. But if you accept your daughter and explain to her, people who want to help you will always be available to help, seeing that her leaving her husband's house is not like is one abominable act that she has carried out, but she needs to leave. So in such extreme cases, we link them up. They will be in a shelter for like 6 months to 1 year, learn a skill. If possible, with the help of people, they get them accommodation where they will go and be doing little trades. That has also helped.
We have annually from the year 2017 bring together returned migrants and survivors of human trafficking from many parts of Nigeria to provide them with the mental health. Our strategies in doing that includes we bring them together, implore the services of psychosocial experts, pastors, and those who are very good at that to sit with them, talk with them. Once a month, we bring them together to this very place where we call our family house, the big house. It's the office, but then we bring them here where they would have the opportunity to talk to people who will listen to them and guide them and, provide for them the most needed counseling they need to help them get back on their feet, hence the name, Symbols of Hope. We do that every now and then. The monthly is the one that brings together all of them at the same time, but on daily basis. Even today, if we would say a bit longer, you see a few of them coming in where they will be attended to. We will talk to them. And after that, we also provide them with trainings and skills acquisitions so that they get to become so busy. An idle mind, they say, is the devil's workshop. So if they get busy, they will not be locked up in their trauma of their experiences in the course of their journey or trafficking. And then afterward, the church provides them with some stipends or some livelihood materials. We don't give them money. Our staff or officers or procurement department takes them to the market where they buy them all their needs. Some are plumbing guys who would want to do plumbing. Some are electrical fittings and appliances. Some are boutiques, some hairdressing. Some of them are carpenters. Some of them want to go into provision stores. Some are tailors and so on. So what we do is that we provide them with the needed materials so that they get themselves set up and they continue to do that which they will do to have a source of livelihood.
As the sages have said, no one can clap with one hand. We at True Vision cannot. Therefore, we need your support and collaboration. Do you know someone who have just returned from the brink? Tell us and we shall contact the person. In addition, like, comment and share this video to the widest possible viewership. And working together, we shall make our environment a safer place for you all.